I've got the answer right here, ladies and gentlemen, to everything that ails you. Now, step right up.
One who quacks like a duck about his salves and remedies. The cruel practice of making money on people's worries feared throughout the years as quackery.
I said cured of backache, nervousness,
Any number of diseases. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that you think my word for it. I've got the answer right.
Hey guys, we wanted to shout out to one of our biggest fans, newest fan, Abby. We're going to be making her an honorary quackhead, the first of hopefully many. So, good quack there.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Quack Attack
Abby.
is back, Jack. Thank you so much, Abby, for getting enthused and following us. And we thank you so much. And keep spreading the word. You're our first quackhead.
Quackhead.
Quack, quack. The Island Lager Longboard. Long being the key word here from Kona Brewing. Delicious beer.
How much time do you spend picking these damn beers?
Don't worry about that. You can pass that to my man, Lil P.
Hawaii.
Is that Hawaii?
And from
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
As the locals would say. But you're a, what do they call them?
Howley.
You're a Howley.
Yeah, if you're an outsider, you're a Howley.
So you say it Hawaii.
Hawaii or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're Moana, though, you can say whatever the hell you want.
I love that movie.
Hey, so, yeah, it's good. I've seen it at least 700,000 times.
What, Point
now.
Break?
Point Break, hell yeah. This is a spirited, no, how do you say, somebody who speaks Italian? I mean,
What?
who speaks,
How many Italians are in Hawaii?
It seems like a small number.
speaks Hawaiian?
There's one Italian brewery
Maybe
in
some left over
Hawaii.
from World
He's
War
got
II or
this one
something.
really, really tan Italian guy just waving his hands around. I'm drinking my beer. Forget about it. Get over here. Eat these pineapples. Why'd you put one on your dick? Why do you think there's a hole in the middle? Come over here. It's a spirited, crisp, and refreshing brew. Longboard Island Lager is a smooth ride all the way in. Thirst up, bruh.
Smooth ride.
Wow.
All right, boys and girls, gather round. We're doing episode part 2 of Male Enhancement here. Male Enhancement part 2, harder. So this episode is going to be dedicated again to the penis. Surprise, surprise. And dealing with impotence and erectile dysfunction and how we've dealt with it over the ages. It's a long and arduous journey here. Ever since the invention of the penis, when it stopped working, and people liked for it to work. So, of course, they wanted to do whatever it took. However bizarre, unlikely to be successful, they wanted to get that thing hard.
Is that the same thing, impotence and ED?
Yeah, so erectile dysfunction is medically also known as impotence, although, you will have some people not liking to link them because it kind of makes it sound like a man is like less than a man if he can't get it up. So they really just want to call it erectile dysfunction now in medical practice because, this is a big problem. Very common for anyone over the age of 40, really, to happen.
40? Holy shit, I'm almost there.
I know, man. We're going to have to figure this out. Erectile dysfunction is the inability to get and maintain an erection necessary for satisfactory sexual intercourse. It has been described since the beginning of written history with reports in Egyptian tombs, Greek cup paintings, and even in the Old Testament.
So, when you see the hieroglyphics on the pyramids,
There's boners
it's
and
like
then
a
there's
dude
droopy
that's
boners.
limp.
Yeah. King Louis
have to look for
the
that.
16th of France was rumored to have ED as early as 15 years old. So, of course, there was we've been trying to
Was
treat
that King Louis the Small?
No, King Louis the Limp.
The limp?
Yeah. We're not trying to make fun of anyone who has this. It's very common, and there are treatments that work. This is not just quackery. This episode will have real medicine, too.
Wow.
Also quackery, of course. So we have records of course, old treatments for ED. So one of these that I thought was interesting, that in ancient Greece, men wore talismans of goat, rooster, and wolf genitalia, okay? And they even ate wolf penises.
Wore it?
Yes. So I was like, wait a minute.
Like a suit?
No, like around their neck.
Like they would sew them together?
Like a
their neck?
talisman. Like a talisman, yeah.
Oh.
So I was like, wait a minute. Birds don't have penises, do they? So then I didn't really know. So, of course, I had to look into it. Like, does it have a cock? Like a cock? But there's no such thing, unfortunately. But I did some good research into this, okay? They have these things called cloacas, which are like there's actually it's a word for like dumpster is what they call it, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So what they do when, of course, if a rooster wants to have sex with a hen, they touch holes.
What?
And the testicles are inside the rooster. And so it it comes out the same hole. So male roosters, they jizz, pee, and poo out the same hole. Female hens pee and poop. They get inseminated and lay eggs all through the same hole. One hole.
That's efficient.
Well, same with humans, right?
Ladies and gentlemen,
moving on.
We need to have a talk with John about why he's peeing out of his butthole. That may be the tapeworm. And actually, fun fact, one hen can hold the rooster semen inside them so they can fertilize multiple eggs. So they
Wait, what?
capture the semen, hold it inside them, and then they just keep fertilizing eggs until they run it. That's why it only takes one hen or one rooster in a hen house. They fertilize all of it. They keep them all satisfied. They're like Mormons.
Yeah, seems like an episode of Maury to me.
Here's a picture of it. I don't know if you guys wanted to see.
I don't need to see it.
You know, here's
one
right there. Penis. There's no penis, but it looks kind of.
Actually, I'm surprisingly interested in
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
this.
I thought it was fascinating. Anyway, moving on. But anyway, they would cut the balls out of the rooster and put them around their neck. So obviously, having hard dicks has been important to men for a long time.
Did it work?
No, that didn't work.
See, I thought ED was like a common thing because of what we eat. All this.
No, it's been going on
preservatives
forever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the Romans would consume other genitalia of animals, especially anything they thought had like a high libido, like rabbits. They would drink the semen of hawks and eagles. And
How do
eat
you
deer penises.
harvest that?
It's an excellent question. I mean, because I would think if they're birds, they probably have that colloquial. Oh yeah, and when they have sex, it's called a colloquial kiss with chickens,
cute.
like a
You're a
yoga
cute
move.
little bunny.
Nice.
They're like, ooh, yeah.
So they would extract this. You got to.
I don't know.
You ever seen the talons
Man.
on an eagle?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That may end up coming back to bite you, literally.
Yeah.
Or scratch you, so to speak.
You got to really want it. You know.
I want
Okay,
it.
so yeah, I mean, so this is why this has always been a thing. Like, we're trying to find anything that we can, snort, eat, rub on,
Rub out.
Snails.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that too. That's actually interesting that you bring that up. But the oldest reference to impotence was 8th century BC in India. So this guy named Samhita of Shushruta, he thought that it was from having sex with distasteful women.
That's not true, to be clear. Or
No comment. No, that is not found to be true.
okay.
Even on Friday nights?
Anything, man, Hey, what is it they say? When you're drunk, what is it? The rule doubling a 5 is a 10 when you're drunk.
Sure.
I've always lived. No, we're gonna get ourselves in trouble here. Just trying to stay married through this podcast. That's the goal. Okay, so Samhita used a bunch of stuff also to try to cure it.
Samantha?
Samhita, whatever. He would
Oh, it's a dude.
listen to this. Yeah, he would put a powder of sesame, masha pulse, shali rice, mix it with Sandahava salt, paste copious amount of juice from the sugar cane, and then mix that with hog lard and clarified butter. Sounds like you're cooking.
Sounds like hollandaise.
Sounds delicious. People of his tribe could use that, and they'd be able to visit 100 women by rubbing that on.
So it worked.
No.
Oh.
These are all, well, I mean, this is what they thought.
When was
okay.
this?
They-
What?
Yeah, what year was this?
That was 8th century BC.
Do you know how much that would have cost back then?
Oh, yeah, probably.
Because like salt was
Oh, yeah.
platinum
Yeah.
back then. This guy's using it to rub on his.
It's
Hootie?
valuable. It's a valuable.
I mean, my God, all the spices, the sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah, they said
Was
it.
he, what
that's
did
like
he
the
do?
golden
Was he like noble,
wiener wheelbarrow.
Was he nobility or something?
I don't know. Let's see.
Had to be,
Yeah.
or like a spice lord.
Spice Lord.
Spice Lord.
Now that's just someone who's always spicy. Like they just can't. Yeah, they're always throwing spice. Not like Salt Bay. Like actual like conversation spice.
Little
Shade.
cumin on that.
A little salty. They're
conversation.
salty.
Yeah.
Throw a little cumin on that conversation. Other ways of visiting 100 women, including eating the testes of a goat, either by boiling it in milk and then adding sesame. They like sesame. And adding the lard of a porpoise, which is,
The porpoise.
Like a dolphin.
yeah. I didn't even
fuck
know
those guys.
Yeah,
What?
they're bad. That's what I'm saying. How much stuff went extinct from just men wanting to have boners or bigger boners? A lot of stuff, I'm sure. So, I mean, the dodo bird probably had something to do. You know, you could probably thought that the dodo bird could get him.
Do you think
hard.
other?
Probably milking the dodo bird.
Yeah. Do other mammals have ED?
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it just like a human
Oh,
problem?
absolutely.
Do they really?
Well, most of them. That's why they evolved to have bones. Like raccoons and dogs, they all have bones now because the ED problem was so prevalent in those communities that an evolution occurred.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
It's interesting you bring that up because we'll get to that. Not that specifically, but something similar. Okay. Anyway, the 80-year-old man would be, after taking this porpoise mixture
was
with
80.
the testes
Yeah, I don't
of a
think you
goat,
mentioned that
would be
first time.
sexually vigorous as one in his youth.
Well, he was 80. That's why he had the fucking problem.
Well,
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they treated it for all ages, not just young people, old people. I mean, so then
This
they
is
also,
in 8th century BC.
This is all a long time. So then 7th and 9th
And this
century BC.
80-year-old dude is not only alive,
Yeah,
No
but he's
shit.
trying to have sex.
No one lived that long. He had to be like no.
this guy's a beast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was out seeing 100 women at 80 years
Yeah.
old. And,
Allegedly.
oh my Lord.
He was like the Casanova of his day.
no lie. Imagine what he
Indian-
was like in his youth.
Oh, dude, he was slaying them.
What an animal.
There was another thing that this man liked to do. They did a lot of stuff with the baby alligators. They'd take baby alligator hearts, smush them up, rub them on their penises. They would eat the
What?
testicles of alligators. Oh, yeah. And testicles of mice, frogs, and sparrows. So there was
Mice
one.
would you have to have?
So this one guy also had an idea. He said, here's what we'll do. We'll combine clarified butter. They love the clarified butter, which is like
good for anything.
pretty good health.
It's an emulsifying agent,
Sure. It should be boiled with the testes of alligators, or you could use the eggs in a pinch, because they're reptiles. Mice, frogs, and sparrows, the testes of all those animals. Okay, you make it into a paste and rub it onto your feet.
Your
And
feet.
then, and then a man will be able to visit women with an undiminished vigor as long as he would not touch the ground with his feet.
I think it
So
was.
he would fly?
I guess, I don't know. Did they carry
Walk
him?
on his hands?
Or did they have to visit him?
I think this would work. All right, here's why I think this stuff works. Because it's like a placebo. You think
sure,
it's going to work.
sure.
Now you're going to go out and basically slay. Because like you said earlier in the Japan, they were basically sit in their house and they don't have the confidence that they need. So this just gives them confidence.
It does.
Yeah.
And actually, I think that's an interesting point to talk about with the Quackery podcast in general, is that the reason why a lot of this stuff took off, fear, they would use fear to sell a lot of these things, and, with the health cures, but stuff like this. The placebo effect is measurable. It's like 30% effective. So think about that. It's like 30% of the time,
not
if you
bad.
think it's going to work, it will
Yeah.
work.
Unless you know it's a placebo, then it doesn't work.
Right. No, well, yeah, you won't
Yeah.
get the placebo effect then. If you know it's a placebo, then you know.
But how does the placebo, just real quick, how does it work? Is it-
mentally, yeah. So what they do
so
is
like mind over matter is like
correct.
real. Oh.
It's actually real. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now help. I'll probably need help with this name. It's a aqua badhin of al-kindiha.
No, that was right.
That sounds right.
That's not
Yeah.
right. Anyway, Arabic. He would throw oil of jasmine and azafoetia and leaves of azafoetia, and they would boil them for some days, and then they would oil them up with that jasmine oil before intercourse. I mean, at least
Wait,
it
what
smelled
were they
good.
oiling up?
Their member.
So it's like
Okay.
KY almost.
So they would almost like have it as like their lube with
Yeah.
jasmine oil.
Okay.
At least it'll be
They
nice.
should put some
That's
of
a
the,
lot better than leeches.
Oh, way
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
They should put some of the pepper, the cayenne pepper, to heat it up.
Yeah.
You know, like the KY that heats up,
Ooh, intense.
and then she's getting all blisters and all this
Ripped
shit.
for her pleasure. And then traditional Chinese medicine, they thought it had to do, like if you weren't getting boners anymore, I thought it had to do with yin and yang, which if you're not familiar with that, they just thought it's kind of like, you see the little yin and yang.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when the positive and masculine side would get overshadowed, then they would, the opposing force would take over and they wouldn't be able to get erections anymore. And so they had all these different ideas on how to fix it. I thought the best right here was there was a potion they made with a list of 22 secret ingredients the emperor himself drank and mounted 1,200 women and therefore achieved immortality.
Whoa!
So we're almost there. Right?
Whoa!
Just need a couple thousand more.
Yeah.
I like how they said mounted them.
Oh, yeah.
Mounted, yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Like as a quest,
Wow.
you know?
So what's he up to now?
Oh, I mean, that's a good question.
yeah,
he's
he's
probably still
immortal.
mounting.
Yeah.
what else?
Slaying the dragons. And
Is that the 80-year-old dude?
No, this
the same guy?
This is Huang Ti Ni Ching, the Yellow Emperor. That seems racist.
I didn't want to say it, but
It was the perfect
Dang,
silence.
he lived a long time though. He ruled from
Well, he's
2697.
immortal, Will.
Oh,
Of
that's
course
true.
he did.
That's true.
Good Lord.
Dude
Come
lived
on,
98
man.
years, according to this.
damn, I wonder what those
98 years.
ingredients are.
I know. I want these
Like
it's like
proprietary
the
blend.
It's like the
Well, it seemed
Colonel's
like it was the
secret
number of
herbs and
women,
spices.
not the...
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is. The Colonel only did 11 secret.
So is Magic
herbs and spices.
Johnson
He
now
needed to
immortal?
go 22.
Yeah, I think so.
So if you cure AIDS, you get you the keys to the kingdom. Well, he's just got to make it 25 more years, according to.
Well, no,
scientists.
isn't he the one that
I didn't-
supposedly slept with thousands of women?
Oh, Wilt Chamberlain.
Oh, Wilt Chamberlain. So is Wilt Chamberlain immortal?
Magic Johnson's the one who got HIV and then is technically not HIV.
What's
Yeah.
full-blown AIDS? What he's
Not anymore.
not anymore? How does that work? I thought
He has an undetectable amount of virus in his system, so he's for all intents and purposes cured.
how?
I probably wouldn't get a blood transplant.
That good, huh?
transfusion from him. Yeah,
You think they just did a lot
He does
of-
enough antivirals to keep it low,
Went
undetectable.
into remission.
And they actually had to change because of him. They actually had to change the definition of trace amount of virus in it.
They had to
'cause he had
redefine the PQL?
They had to because he had so little that they had to, and they also got better assays to check it. So like it'd be like
So they
you know,
reduced the PQL.
You're under
Practical quantitation
100
on it.
parts per million, and then it got to be like less than like 1 part per million, or something like that. Like he's less than 1 part per million, something like that. Oh boy. Okay, so then we went to ancient Egypt, and they of course had their ideas, which most of them had to do with baby crocodiles' hearts and those sort of things, with wood oil, and they'd get it to a nice consistency and put it on the penis.
Wood oil.
They loved mixing. They had 37 substances they would put together. The ones that were identifiable on the papyrus were juniper, pine, salt, and watermelon. Greek mythology, of course, they thought it had to do with it was a carryover. They thought mentally it had to do with let's say you had a trauma as a child, and then that trauma would carry over to you being impotent in the future. So they would have these weird ways to cure it, if he cut himself, and then he would have fear of knives, and they thought that's what made him impotent. So they would scrape off the rust of a knife and not show him, and have him drink wine with the rust in it and be cured. That obviously.
Probably not that far off on calls for.
But
a
as
lot.
far as, I mean,
like a Freudian type.
yeah.
thing,
So there I'm sure there is. There's a lot of where it's mental dysfunction. Okay, so Middle Ages. What would you guys think that they would think?
King Arthur, right?
But what? Right, that kind of thing. What in that time period though is kind of popular? What do they think that causes all the problems?
Merkins?
Americans?
Merkins.
I don't know what merkins are.
A wig for your pubic region?
Ooh,
How the hell do you know that?
it's weird.
It's the first thing I thought of when you said Middle Ages.
So what do they do in the middle? I mean, they're burning witches, right? So they think
Burning
witches
witches.
cast spells
Yeah.
on men's dicks.
Well, that's true too.
Really? Yeah, they thought that. And also demons. So it was all church related or witch related, which is still church related. There was actually a book called The Witch Hammer. Did you know that?
No.
Wouldn't that be a bad roll of the dice? You just happen to come up upon a witch out in the woods somewhere, and all of a sudden you can't get a
So this
get a
one's
hard on
fantastic. So, okay.
Bring me a strawberry.
So which is
anymore. A
shrubbery.
bit smaller.
Neat. Neat. So they thought the witches, they would tie this magic knot onto a ring or a key using a little cord or strip of leather, and then they would hide it before the marriage, and it would cause impotence of the groom at, on the wedding night. So it was a magic ligature is what they called that, but it would last until the knot was untied. But they could
is
take,
that where they got tie the knot from?
ooh, maybe that's awful.
Like where this is going.
But then, so there was a countermeasure.
Oh, no.
How would you fix this? You would have to urinate through your wife's wedding ring the night before the wedding.
Yes. Yes.
We should bring that back.
I'm about to get married.
We should
Do
bring
it.
that back.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a good idea because just in case.
Dude, yes.
That's pretty neat.
I will
And then
do
they
that.
also thought that if it wasn't a witch, then probably a demon was possessing your cock and balls to make it not work, right?
I am going to pee through Nicole's
Hell
wedding
yeah,
ring.
it might work.
That's one of the better ideas I've heard today.
He's heard a lot.
Up there. That's up there on the list.
So King David apparently in the Bible had erectile dysfunction, and in Kings Book 1, verse 1. Now, King David was old and stricken in years, and they covered him with clothes, but he got no heat. So heat means like
Sex?
Really?
boners.
Oh, boners.
Wherefore his servants said unto him, Let there be sought for my lord the king a young virgin, and let her stand before the king, and let her cherish him, and let her lie in thy bosom, that my lord king may get heat.
Yeah.
Lie in his bosom or her
Yeah,
bosom?
well, like you saw, like snuggle.
Oh,
He's a big guy.
Crazy, right?
So all they
guess
really
it was
needed
like-
was like a hot girl.
Hot girl, the same theory, and a disagreeable woman, right?
Yeah.
so we have Pornhub now. That should cure everything.
Okay, so getting to perfect segue. Thank you for that. Okay, so in the 18th century, Dr. Samuel Solomon created a cordial balm of Gilead. Now, he thought that the reason why men would get impotent was because they over masturbated or had too much sex. And the semen was like the engine that drove these boners. And if you lost too much of it, then you would be impotent. So this balm, it did a lot of stuff. But the one thing that he would get people to do,
How many times people were jacking off back then?
probably not. They're probably the same amount as now. A couple
times a day? What the fuck? What the fuck? Am I missing out?
Come on, man. I've jerked it like 6 times since you've been here.
Once at lunch.
Why do you think I went to the bathroom so many times? So he wanted you to put this stuff and cold water right on your balls.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here and say it didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, no, this was the idea. It worked because it actually worked, but it wouldn't fix your problem because it was this crazy stuff that had cardamom, brandy, and cantharides. I don't know what that is. But anyway, you would apply it to your testicles in a cold water bath, and that would make you not masturbate as much. So it would try to make you not as horny. It's like cooling your rocks
Yeah, put
instead
them
of
on
getting your
ice.
rocks off. And so you're saving that semen that he thought was what you needed to go. Of course, we found out that's not true. It probably is the opposite.
That's not true.
How bad of an addiction do you have to have to masturbation that you've got to literally
Ice your
ice
balls.
down your balls so that you don't touch yourself?
Jesus.
Like, why don't you just put mittens on them? You know what I mean?
Or a little sock. Well, I guess you could go through the sock.
Oh, yeah.
Proven that a few times.
Yeah,
All right, so
That's why they call it a tube sock.
then the Chinese
Sorry,
figured out that a tube sock. Hey.
Wait, can we just go back to this?
Okay, yep.
There's so many ways of instituting a abstinence program. My first thought would not be to put some weird cream and sit in a cold bathtub.
Yeah, but
It'd
you
be
make-
like, just handcuff myself for a little while.
Yeah, but you want these people to feel like a degenerate and they want some cure-all. It also fixed a bunch of other stuff. Like,
But did they look down on masturbation back then?
oh, I'm sure. I mean,
Because
people have
today
always said-
people do.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. This one also said it cured weaknesses, female complaints,
Hysteria.
impurity of bloods, headaches. It cured relaxations. I don't know why you would want to cure that. Bilious cases, debility, indigestion,
This
cough,
dude's just way
colds,
too chilled out,
consumptions,
man.
lowness of spirits, on and on and on. So it was a cure-all, but they also would apply it to their balls.
That sounds like quackery.
That's a quack.
That's quack.
All right. So then there's also, you guys have heard of all these different things, right, for aphrodisiacs, right?
Yeah.
So I think kind of the Chinese came up with that stuff. And then the Romans also had it. They would use melted camel fat, snake blood.
I bet melted camel fat smells so bad.
How the fuck do they think of this shit?
So they thought
Just
that,
laying around.
but
Is
they
there
think
any-
that vanilla is an aphrodisiac because it comes from it's a shorter term of the Latin term for vagina. So they're like, hey,
Oh, wow.
whatever the Latin term of
Really?
vanilla is shorter. The Latin term of, I don't know.
I feel like these kids are just, it's like a bunch of kids like doing fake science experiments. Where they just walk around their house and get different cleaners
Yeah.
and
You better believe it.
perfumes and
Yeah.
stuff and mix it all together and rub it on themselves.
But these kids,
It's like the kids in high school, they were like, "Oh, have you ever sprayed cologne in the microwave and lit it on fire and see what happens?" Like,
Yeah.
how did you pull that off? How did you get your hand out? So anyway, there was all sorts of things in here, things that look like penises, things that look like balls. They tried it all. So what do we think that works today, and what actually has evidence? Well, they said, everyone says, "Oh, you eat a shitload of oysters, you're gonna get horny." Not true. Ginseng, they said maybe. Chocolate, nope. Maca root,
chocolate,
maybe.
no?
Honey, no. Ginkgo, maybe. Wild yams, no. Watermelon rind, maybe. If you ate a lot of watermelon rind.
That's the shell, right?
Yeah. Like
So are
but you can
turtles
pickle
just
it.
like wildly horny?
Getting their little. Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
How about that?
They got to watch out for snapping turtles. Ooh. All right. So next, I would like to talk about our Greek god of fertility named Priapus. And he is awesome. Look at these pictures of him. Literally, they have him, a statue of him with no arms, and he's holding a basket of fruit up with his boner.
My.
Oh, my God.
I mean, he wasn't real. He's a Greek god, but the god is known for his huge virile member, and the size of it is so enormous that it has been called column, 12-inch pole, cypress, spear, pyramid, and many other names.
Pyramid?
Yeah, that's weird. Referring to the dimensions of his penis. And they said, just as Zeus shows his thunderbolt, Poseidon his trident, Athena her spear, Apollo his arrows, Hermes his caudicus, Dionysus his theresis, and Hercules his club, so Priapus cannot but proudly exhibit his penis, which best represents him, and without it he is weaponless. Wow. So they actually, this still so the term Priapus still exists today. I don't know if you've ever watched and advertisements for Viagra and stuff. It'll be called, they'll say, if you have an erection lasting longer than 4 hours, get medical help. That's called a priapism.
Oh, yeah.
Painful erection lasting 4 or more hours.
Wow. Could you imagine, like, you're at the God table and, they're handing out, here's your superpower.
They get the cards.
You get the oceans. You get all the dicks.
Would you not be thrilled?
I would.
Yeah, hey, man, it could be worse. You could be that dude who had, what did he say, cypresses or something? I mean, can you imagine how poor and bad that guy feels,
You'll be the king of the locker room, I'm telling you that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, there was
I
a guy
out of my seat in
in USC where
movie.
we went to I went to pharmacy school. You go to the gym there, and old men could be members too. And there was always a guy. God, I mean, it was like a public gym.
How generous
but we
of you
got
guys.
we got free memberships because it was at the school. So there was, I shit you not, there was an old man with his foot propped up all the way on the counter, and he was blowing his hair with his and that was as soon as you open the door. He was facing the door, just blowing his hair.
Oh, my God.
White bush, just
Foot up on the counter.
foot on the counter.
I love that. That's going to be me, like in 3 years from now.
Hell yeah. 3 years. Okay, so in the 19th century, we started to try to inject anything into our balls to help with it. So Dr. Charles Edward Brown Sequard began injecting himself with the extract of the testicles of dogs and guinea pigs.
Oh, my God.
But so interesting, they tried all these things, but they didn't work. And then they tried, then another doctor, Dr. Sergei Voronov, a Russian doctor, tried putting a testicle from an ape into a human. So they basically tried to swap out the ball.
How did it work?
Didn't work out so good. But these guys actually pioneered. That was 1889, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
To even make it work a little bit. But they actually were like kind of the fathers of hormone replacement. They started figuring out that's what it had to do with hormones.
So this guy had one human ball and one monkey ball?
Yeah.
Wow.
Just replace both of them.
Do you have a
Isn't there a
picture
movie
of that?
about that, Monkey Bones? No, it was
Like,
1889.
The left one's like really hairy.
Could you imagine being that guy's doctor and having to pitch him that? It's like, all right,
No, I'm telling you.
here's what we're going to do.
People would try anything.
Here's what we're going
Stick
to do.
with me here.
I got this gorilla down at the zoo. Already worked it out with him.
Well, he's getting one of yours. You're getting one of his. It's like Frankenstein, right? Young Frankenstein. Late 17th century, Dr. William Hammond used galvanism. So at that point, this is when they started trying to use electricity for everything. So they thought, let's put some electrodes on the spine, perineum, testicles, and penis, and administer electric current. Ugh. Hammond himself admitted this process was a rather unpleasant experience. And it didn't work. It's amazing, though, that they put it on the taint.
You know that guy got off from that.
Yeah.
He got off from
Sadist.
doing that to people.
Oh, he got off on
Yeah.
He probably did it without their consent.
Jesus.
Doctors.
Well, no dude is ever going to consent to that.
They invented in the 1800s penis pumps. Vincent Marie Monde, whatever, in the early 1800s invented vacuum erection devices. And that's when I was saying, you would then use a tension ring to try to hold the blood, and then you'd try to go, with that. Applied negative pressure and increased corporal blood flow. And I guess they would work, but then it would go down. But you couldn't really keep it. Like the tension ring couldn't really hold. I'm sure that wasn't very enjoyable. I mean, imagine like holding it really tight just to try to. I don't know. Ugh. So then in 1936, this comes back to what you guys were talking about with raccoons. Nicolas Borjas fashioned the first penile implant using rib cartilage and bones. So he did surgery. He would put an actual bone in your boner.
That's smart.
Yeah, the problem was the body resorbed it.
So, really?
Yeah. Which, think about that. Like, so your penis. I mean, I guess I wonder if that would work for like enlargement, because then it's in there. It's going to be bigger because you got a bone. I guess they took out something. But my thing is like, you've got a bone in your penis always.
Yeah. Right.
So
you're always rocking a semi.
I like that, man.
I like that, man.
So working on war victims who had amputations, they'd try to put cocks on them and they'd have problems getting erect. So they started.
What do you mean they would try to put cocks on them?
So if they would have they would lose their penis.
They'd go and find one somewhere?
According to this. So anyway,
Christ, that's awful.
Genitalia. So they would. They had to do reconstructive surgery. Like, say if that was partially. I don't know if they just put like a dead man's cock on there. So they started using metal rods for that though, and they suffered problems obviously with infection. Then they tried acrylic rods. Same problem because they were trying to figure out the resorption thing. Like, it's absorbing. So like we got to do something. So they would erode in there and then get infected. Ugh. So then silicone rubber was used in the 1960s, and they used that, but it's not very popular. So that in 1973 gave rise to the amazing discovery, Dr. F. Brantley Scott, the inflatable penile prosthesis, which is you've heard of this, John?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you put it.
So it's a three-piece. It's a three-piece operation. So this is amazing. Okay, so basically, they put a inflatable, but it's a fluid. It goes into the shaft of your cock.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then there's a pump that goes in one of you take out one of your balls and you put the pump there. So it's like a Reebok pump, like, and then they keep that extra fluid in your fupa.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
For your reservoir.
This shit is quite. That was made in Baylor.
So you can pump it up just like a shoe.
Pump it up just like the shoes.
Squeezing your balls.
See, of course.
What's guy's name? Larry, the penthouse guy.
Oh, Larry, yeah, hustler guy,
or hustler guy.
Larry,
he's got
Larry
one.
Flint.
Larry Flint. Yeah.
He's got one.
Does he really?
Yeah,
that's awesome
because he's paralyzed.
Yeah, he's paralyzed. Yeah,
he's got one.
In like Flint.
Yeah,
that's my favorite movie.
Was he always paralyzed or what?
Yeah. I don't know.
I know. John always pops those questions I'm not expecting. I'm like, so sponge-filled silicone cylinders that would fill up with a scrotal pump. Amazing.
Yeah.
So it's like getting ready for the game. Yeah. I always wondered, can you overpump this thing? But I was hoping that, they'd only put enough fluid in there so you can't. Then you have a valve to release the pressure when you're done.
Got to.
Of course, another question I had was, so actually, my wife asked us, does it work? Like, will it, if you use it to do they still get off. Like, so, I mean, apparently, yes, but not, I mean, not always. Because it's, you'll still, you can still get a male can still come to
Climax.
Thank you for that word. But I guess not always. But they would do it. Men can experience erection when needed, but maintain normal appearance when deflated, and have sex.
Deflated.
Not always. It won't always work exactly like you want it to, so then the biggest breakthrough in the dick game was 1989. Doctors Peter Dunn and Albert Wood.
No way.
Shit you not. Dr. Wood came up with a product called UK 92480. And they worked for a company called Pfizer. I know you guys probably never heard of them. This was designed to treat high blood pressure and angina, not vagina, angina.
Mm-hmm. Heart attack, right?
Which is chest pain caused by reduced blood flow to the heart. So they filed a patent because they were testing it out. They found out that it had a side effect because that smooth muscle, like that, would also work for something else, which was it was similar to what was in your penis, and it would actually cause erections. So this is not quackery. Like, this dilates smooth muscle cells and makes them fill with blood, and so the corpora cavernosa of the penis is smooth muscles. So that's why it's different. It's more like your heart.
Smooth muscle,
so you can get,
it's like your
so you can work
right?
your heart out by, it's like conditioning, but it's not going to make it bigger. It actually, you don't want your heart to get bigger. It's bad for you.
Okay.
I mean, for your penis,
Same thing.
You're mighty quick to say that. So by the time the patent expired just recently here, they had made over $1 billion a year.
Yes. Did they repatent it with something else?
Because so they always extended it, but it's out. But it's on generic now.
Is that why you see them all offshore Viagra?
Yeah. So that's actually something different too. But that's actually coming up. So. But the interesting thing with it is, then of course later on there was also Levitra and Cialis came out too, do the same thing. But the one Cialis, there's a low dose one where you take it every day, and so you're kind of like ready. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily give you a boner, but it like makes it easy for you to get aroused. Like you pop it just like you were 16 again. Like if you're a cool breeze blows in.
Or the teacher asks you a question.
You gotta just learn to duck and tuck, son.
Duck and tuck.
He just walks up to the front like do. Good Lord, John. Put that thing on a leash.
Oh, you like it, Miss Woods.
Ooh. Oh my God. So yeah, so just a quick story from me on this. I used to actually feel like I haven't taken Viagra, but I sell it, obviously. I'm a pharmacist. So back when before it was on generic, people would come in all the time, and like buy them. You get these rich older men who would buy, like 6 of them a week, and they would pay cash for it because their insurance wasn't covering it that often. And these guys would pay in $100 bills, and I felt like it was I was dealing drugs. Like they'd be paying me, like the guy would come in and spend like $600, $900, whatever, because they were, $50 a pill or more, and you'd be paying me, straight quiche, It's crazy. And there was some people. So sometimes I asked my doctor about this because I was so confused. I was like, sometimes it's like these good looking, like younger guys who buy a lot of them cash. And I was like, what the hell is that about? And he's like, they're sex addicts. I was like, no shit. He was like, yeah, they probably may not even have ED, but they just are like addicted to sex and they want to be erect all the time. It's like, but so where are they getting all this action?
Yeah. Trying to become immortal.
Well, 1,200 or 12,000 is all it takes.
Have you guys been to Charleston?
But you got to mount. That's true. You could mount 12,000. That's a slow Tuesday in Charleston. Right? Wow. But they have these, and don't Google these because they'll never leave you alone. But there's these programs now called Roman and Hymns. And you'll see they advertise all the time on TV. They're like basically, it's doctors on your phone. And you just be like, I have ED. I mean, you can Google it if you want, if you need it. But like, don't Google it just for your information because they will not stop hounding you ever. Like, I'm going to have to change my identity, I think.
Really?
Just because I Googled. I mean, it just always pops up. It's on your Instagram all the time now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they prescribe it online and then they just mail it to your house. It doesn't even seem like it should be possible, but they actually send you the sildenafil, which is Viagra.
Wow.
And of course, then we get to John's neck of the woods, the herbal treatments, like super horny goat weed.
Super horny goat weed.
Oh yeah, we had to bump it up from.
They get that from like super horny goats.
Yeah, extra horny goats.
Not just the regularly.
They took the horns and they mashed them up with their penises, and then they applied it, into the pills.
I don't know if you're being.
Wouldn't be
when you
surprised
talk
either
about
way.
this stuff, yeah.
This is this is the stuff that's like, they got like the what's the yohimbe, right?
Yeah,
That's,
yeah.
the herb.
Dr.
that,
Oz always talks
shouldn't
about
be
that.
used
Really?
without a doctor's supervision. It can be dangerous. It can cause a regular heartbeat. I don't know. There's also this sweet powder that I found called Thor's Hammer, and it's that stuff that they call like medical or herbal Viagra, right?
Yeah.
So you've seen all these advertisements for herbal Viagra. So this shit is actually really dangerous because they take the substrate of Viagra, which is sildenafil, and they get this thing. It's called sulfaldenafil, and it's like a substrate on it that's like they lace these herbs with it. So it's like they say it's herbs, but it's actually drugs that are like
real
illegally
thing.
in there. And so people who have, like,
Wow.
let's say, if you don't take this drug, if you take nitrates for chest pain because it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure, make sure your heart's healthy enough for sex. Those advertisements.
Yeah.
So there could be people who are taking this, they don't even know. Boom, their blood pressure could drop out, they could pass out, they could, have a heart attack, whatever.
Wow.
There's also two more things that work, but I think they are quackery because they're so ridiculous. The first one is penile injections. So you inject this directly. It's vasoactive substance that you inject directly into the penis, into where the blood would be, and it causes it to dilate. Yeah. I don't know if you want to
But
see a
that would
picture.
work, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, it works.
Oh, yeah.
But it's quackery because it's ridiculous. Like, no one wants to inject their dick before sex.
Oh, before sex?
Yeah, it doesn't just work all the time.
Well, you already got a hole that's there. You just
Now,
put it in
John,
there.
you tell me. You don't go up the hole.
I don't know how
bet you
those
could,
tubes
But I do
connect.
have the question. Okay, so do you know what a urethral suppository is?
I can guess.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it
The
sounds
pill you
unpleasant.
put up your
That's a
peener.
thing?
Peener.
Yes.
Well,
there are
suppository, yeah.
urethral suppositories that go.
How
it's a
big is the
pellet
pill?
that goes? It's like a long, skinny
God.
thing, like a
Okay.
Like hamster food?
like a hamster food. Yes, and then it goes up,
Okay.
and away.
I'm
You put
actually
it
hurting
into your
down
penis
there.
hole,
Yeah.
and I wonder if it would. I guess it would hurt. I don't know. Is it sensitive inside there? Probably. Oh yeah, it'd be like.
Is that a real question?
It'd be like passing a
Do you
like
even
a
have a
kidney
penis?
stone. I've never touched the inside of the hole.
Yeah, but
You gotta
just
assume,
think
man.
about it,
For sure, but I mean, I also would think it would hurt like if I scratched the underneath of my skin, but there's no nerve endings there.
The inside hole of your penis.
It's gotta hurt.
There's gonna
But no,
hurt.
I was just thinking it's,
gotta
it's
hurt.
really painful to pass like a kidney stone, so it'd probably
Yeah.
be like that.
Probably because there's no feeling.
So this thing is called Muse, and it's a self-administered treatment where and it works, but it will work within 5 minutes.
So it does work.
Bingo, bango.
It does work.
Oh yeah,
Oh god.
but it just is quackery because why do you want to put a urethral suppository up the tip of your donger?
I don't.
I mean, people are desperate. I mean, they've tried.
That does speak to kind of what you said to start this whole thing of, it is a funny topic, but, it is a real issue that a lot of people have to deal with.
Oh,
and,
very common.
and the links that people are willing to go through
Oh yeah.
to make it happen. I mean, yeah.
I mean, when Jim Jones was selling them penis pills, those things were flying off the shelf.
Really?
Oh yeah.
This is one where it's a quackery, but there's a lot of stuff that was quackery because we've been trying to fix it so long, quackery, and but now there's stuff you can actually do. So check it out. Thank y'all so much for listening. If you really like this episode of Quackery on Male Enhancement Part 2 Harder, make sure and hit the subscribe button. Give us a like on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and then soon our website will be up, quackerypodcast.com. You can go on there and become an official quackhead if you love us. And I'm a doctor of pharmacy, but I'm not, if something's wrong, don't listen to this podcast. Get actual medical help. If you need help down there, talk to your doctor. Thank y'all so much. And until next time, do not put wolf penises on your penis. Or is it wolf penis? Oh, alligator hearts on your penis. Of course, I had to show you guys this one. It's a sweet advertisement of a guy who
Getting
just
a blowjob?
lubed up his nose.
Oh, wait, no.
It's a towel. He's hanging a towel from his dong like
course
a
he's got
towel
a
rack.
six-pack.
It's called a Bio Hard Cream, and it got 1 star on GNC.
That's what I'm talking
Available
about.
now.
Did you imagine how angry that guy was? They go and make a review for.
Son of a bitch. He just put it under there as Jim Jones.
Where did she have a secret refrigerator? Or she just had
Like
it
it
in the
was dead bodies
nightstand?
down there. Her ex-boyfriend's penis chopped off down there. There was John Seaman in a little cup. Ron Jeremy's, or some huge ass, 12-incher.
And plus, they think if you got a big penis, you get all these model
Yeah,
girlfriends.
they say the
and,
G spot is only 3 inches in.
There you go.
That's where that thing is. You can never find that fucking thing.
Reach it eventually.
That's my butthole.
I just need a cut.
Oh shit! Sorry.
Oh my god.
That's my ear. Oh shit.
That's why I thought you only had one hole like a chicken.
Well, let's turn the lights on then. Fuck it.
You just touch holes.
Oh God.
Kegel, their muscles clamp up and it kind of trap. You're not trapped like, oh fuck, but like you kind of get where you gotta like. I'm like a fire hose.
Jesus, John.
If you're that bad, okay, time to lay off the Yohimbe, buddy.
Oh my god, dude.
He's turning red. Oh. It's like a human priapism. Okay. Oh.
That gets me.
Every time, right?